What's up, YouTube? Connor Contraptions here for another deck check video. I had yet another amazing request, this time from, darn it, I forgot their name. Hold on a sec. Okay, from Fried Chicken 77, although it's chicken spelled somewhat funny. Is that intentional? Anyway, glad you liked chicken, but fried chicken is pretty good. I will say anything fried is pretty good because America. Anyway, we're getting off topic here. Another deck check video, and he or she challenged me to build a deck with the... Oh, where is she? Twilight Sparkle Friendship is a Magic main. I've been looking at this card every once in a while, thinking, could you build a deck with it that would work well? And then always going with something else because it could be better. It's not the best main there is. But we could use it. And she challenged me to build a deck with this, and she wants it to be a 6-color deck. Yikes. Okay. I know that having all the colors in there is pretty fun. I mean, I get the feeling you probably don't want this to be an ultra-competitive deck. It's just for the fun of it. But I'll try to make it somewhat like, at least reasonable to work with. So that it's not just, you know, oh my gosh, I can't ever do anything in my turn, you know? The biggest challenge with this main is... Let me pull it up on here, because it's easier to see. You have to play a friend that's a different color from another one of your friends to turn this card over. So basically, she requires at least a tricolor deck. Because first you got your purple in your main, so you can't play another friend that's already purple. Second, playing only one other color doesn't work because it still has to be another color from another friend. Or actually, wait a minute. Let me think about this. Her wording is weird, and that's because it's one of those older Harmony or older cards from like just after Candlelight Nights period when they were still figuring out how the game worked. Some of those cards are really, really good. So obviously this is going to be a Harmony deck because this would be banned in core. So let me think about this. Play a friend that's a different color from one of your other friends. That doesn't include her, actually. Rereading this, the way I'm interpreting this is, so you have her as a purple main. Well, a main character card is not a friend card. Therefore, you can play another purple friend, and then just another friend as a second color, and she boosts. That's actually not as bad as I thought it was. Huh. Okay, well that helps our strategy a bit. Although, of course, getting into 6 colors is still really tricky. The back of her ability is what's really going to help the 6-color deck. Because look at this. When this side of the card is turned face up, choose a color for each of your opponents. This card gains each of those colors. Meaning, usually you're only going to be playing this in a 2-player game because this is normally a 2-player game. Although multiplayer rules do exist, they are on Enterplay's site if you are interested in learning how to play 3 or 4-player games. I will warn you though, they are really difficult to win. Mostly because the way it usually ends up happening is, oh gosh, that one person's really close to 15 points, and then all the other players team up against them, one person, and then it's like, it's really hard. I play with my little brothers consistently in multiplayer games. It's tricky. It's a different challenge, so you guys could try that out too. But anyway, so basically, you're going to have at least one opponent, right? Because playing this game by yourself is only really for deck testing. So you get to name any other color, and then boom. You have 3 colors on... You have 2 colors on your main for 3 power, which covers most requirements for cards. But again, since we're working with a 6-color deck, we're going to need at least entry into all 6. Maybe... No, mostly lots of color fixers is what we're going to need. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting challenge. So, challenge accepted. Let's do this. So first off, we're going to need some color fixers. I'm thinking that an immediate obvious inclusion is Singing Barrel and Motivational Speech. These are very, very solid color fixers. Singing Barrel is pretty easy. You play it to your home, You choose a color, and your main becomes that color. So she could become potentially up to 3 colors with a Singing Barrel. And what you could do is you can attempt to exhaust it and put it back into your hand to find another Ponytone friend that's you've already got in play. But, keyword, you don't actually have to find it, which is the fun thing about this card. You can literally just exhaust it and pretend you're looking for that card, and then fail at finding that card, and it still goes back to your hand, meaning you can then play it again on the same turn to name a different color. So this could actually be used 6 times in one turn if you needed to get into all 6 of your colors in one turn. Of course, that would be a little ridiculous because that would be 6 AT. There's probably better ways of doing that. Motivational speech is pretty obvious. You just pay 1, play it to your home, your main character is that color. The nicer thing about this one is your main character keeps that color until this card leaves play. So until your opponent gets rid of your speech, you've always got that extra color. And if Twilight is flipped, well then you're always going to have a 3 power of that extra color. Singing Barrel also has a... Singing Barrel loses the color... makes your main lose those colors at the end of your turn. So you got to make sure that whatever color card you're playing after playing Singing Barrel, you do it on your turn, because it says until the end of turn, which is the one thing that motivational speech does but better. It keeps it throughout the whole game until that speech leaves, but they both have their niche uses that are really good. Now, the thing with 6-color decks is they tend to be pretty inconsistent in terms of getting all your entry colors. Usually what ends up happening is you'll draw a whole bunch of cards that are like, okay, all of these have either too high of a requirement of one color that I don't have in play for me to play, and I'm stuck with useless cards in your hand, or you end up drawing nothing but entry cards, and then you're like, these cards don't have good enough abilities. I'm not going to be able to get ahead of my opponent with this. And your opponent's just going to wipe you out. Especially if they play a main 6 party planners. That would be scary. They'll steal all your entry if that's the case, and then they'll retire them to something to get benefit out of them, and you'll just lose all your entry and be sad. So we're going to have to find a way to get more of our entry color without using too many actual entry friends, which is where motivational speech and Singing Barrel does come into handy. Another thing we could do is play Staff of Sacanis. Of course, it's unique, so you can only play 1, but it gives our main +3 power, meaning that it makes your speeches and barrels even more valuable. Because all of a sudden, oh, my boosted Twilight is at 6 power. That's enough to cover any color requirement in the entire game. I have not seen any cards in the entire game that have a higher color requirement than 5. And those ones with 5 color requirement, you never play, because they're just bad. So that's definitely a way we can do that. Of course, Staff is also a pretty risky thing to play because your opponent's probably going to have some sort of resource removal to get rid of it, because it's also a scary card because you can also use it to frighten your opponent's friends repeatedly with that pay 1 and exhaust. Now, I will admit, Staff is a very hard card to get. It's crazy expensive right now because it's the latest set and it works with every deck, and everybody wants one in every single deck. Even I haven't been able to get any, and I've got like 10 binders of cards from all the sets that have been released so far. So, yeah, it's a bit of a pain. I'd recommend just using proxies for the moment. Basically what you do to make a proxy is you take a card sleeve that you're going to be running your deck in, and you slide in a regular card that you don't care about, like a common, in backwards, and then you print out a picture of the staff, the exact same size of the card, and slide that into the sleeve. And just play with that for now until you can get the actual card. There's probably other cards that could help us buff up our main character, so I'm going to go ahead and look for those, because that would probably help with our color fixing as well. So we're going to look for main character. In game text, hit add, advanced search. That doesn't help. Nope, that doesn't help. That doesn't help. Ooh. No, that doesn't help. Main character has +1 power without a problem with this card. That's okay. I'm looking for things like +2 to +3, +2 minimum power, +3 power, just because we're gonna really need that power there if you can't get your staffs into play, or if you just don't have any staffs and you don't want to put any proxies because you want to be able to actually play it in a tournament match. Okay, what other way could we do this? Let's see. Main characters, main characters. Oh, Appaloosa Buckball team could work. Ooh, but 3 orange wreck is a little pricey. Because look, when this card is flipped, your main character gets +3 power until the end of the face-off. That could allow you to play some nice immediate events in any color you needed. That would be fun. Oh, Double Diamond, of course! We can include 3 of him, look at that. His experienced, so when he gets in your discard pile, he'll go up in power when you have another one of him out in play already. And while it's in your discard pile, your main character has +1 power, meaning that if you end up discarding all 3 of him, well, +3 more power to your main character. Sweet. That could work. This would only work if we're making lots of friends leave play. That could be situational. Huh. There's actually not a lot of options for this. I think Double Diamond is a pretty good inclusion. For orange, at least. We could do that. We can do that. As far as anything else, that's got too much wreck. We're trying to minimize the amount of wreck we'd need to play our cards, even though this is a pretty good card. Because this is a tricolor deck. You know what else we could do to run for color fixing? We could try to run some colorless cards that give us colors. Kevin's always a great option. It's just 2 for 2 power, you put him in play, and he gets another color. If you have portals or some other method of banishing him and then resetting him back into play, that allows you to choose another color to give him, which is pretty helpful. The Smooths would give us lots of color rack, but again, expensive to play, not ideal. Changing Citizens is pretty good. That might work. Yeah, that might work pretty well for a 6-color deck. Because again, it's got the experienced, and as it enters play you choose a color, and it's got +1 power for all of your other characters. And since we're going to need to be playing a lot of friends for this to get all 6 of our colors anyway, that could work pretty well. Ooh. Ooh. It's not as expensive as the Smooths either. Yeah, we'll add that. I think that's enough color fixing. Because at this point we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. That's 12 options to get into all 6 of our colors. That's pretty good. I'm thinking one more option would be pretty good, and I'm looking for events. Now, the challenge is to choose between Makeover and Join the Herd. Makeover has a higher flip, but it's a main phase. Join the Herd is immediate, but more expensive. Regardless, the color only lasts until the end of the turn. One of our characters has +2 power. This will work better for us. And here's why. You could choose your main character, give it whatever color you wanted till the end of the turn, at an immediate speed, which means you could do it during your opponent's turn, and it'll have that color till the end of your opponent's turn. And then you could play some stuff to mess up your opponent during the middle of their turn, like Hasty Friends, or immediate events that have color requirement. Plus, it gives our main +2 power, meaning that it'll have, if we have a staff out, potentially 8 power with enough color rack, or without the staff, potentially 5, which should still be enough. That would be great. I think that's enough color fixing. At that point, we should be good to go on to finding some fun friends to start running. Now, since you're running a 6-color deck, and things are probably going to get pretty expensive to play, I'm immediately, obviously recommending that we play Twilight Cover, because our main is purple, so we're going to have this purple anyway, and she gets that Meticulous, which will allow you to search for those particular color fixes that you need into whatever color you need at a specific time of the game. And she's got Prepared, meaning if your opponent starts to face off wherever this card is at, you get an AT for it, and you can exhaust her to gain 1. What's not to love about that? That's just perfect. Alright, now, what other... Oh! We might as well run Applejack Factory Organizer as well, because... oh, too far. We're looking for... there she is. Because she's only got one requirement, and she's an immediate exhaust to gain an AT, meaning you could get the AT during your opponent's turn if you really needed it. Plus she's stubborn, so she'll still apply her power to face-offs and problem-solving and troublemakers and stuff. And her other color is purple, which works with our main already. Alright. Let's see. So that's 6 AT generation. That's generally enough. You don't usually need more than that. So that gives us 18 more cards to work with if we're working with a 45 card deck. We're gonna have to be careful and think of the most powerful cards we could run in the game to help with our strategy here. Oh, an obvious problem to start with for this deck is Trading Traditions, because basically if you run that as your starting problem, you get to choose your main character to have any other color that you want at any time. Or any other colors you want, until this card is replaced. So, start of the game, you can give Twilight another color to help you out a bit. Like, if you had Applejack in your hand, you could give her orange and then just immediately play Applejack on your first turn. Which is a pretty strong turn. Getting your AT generators out there just right away. Then all of a sudden your opponent's looking at you like, you have like 6 AT and I've only got 3 for my turn. How did that happen? And you're like, hee 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 hee. Anyway. So that's an obvious one to run for that. Okay, but back to Friends. Actually... we really want some strong events. So let's look for the best events in each color that could really help our cause. There are a lot of really good events in various colors, but some very, very crucial ones come to mind, especially since we're running purple. Interdimensional Portal is an amazing card. That would allow us to switch Kevin's colors if we needed it to in a pinch, and do some funny stuff with other Interplay cards. Let's see. Luna's Feature is a very versatile card. It gives us our 3 resource banishment minimum that we'll need, because our opponent will probably play some resource that we won't like, and we gotta get rid of it. Plus we can basically use it like a portal, except that it's not an immediate exits play, enters play again. It's more of a exits play and then comes back at the end of your turn. But that's still really, really helpful. Those are probably Purple's most notable tools. The rest are more Purple-related tools. Food Fight. Food Fight would definitely be a good pink tool option. Although I think we'll only put 2 in, because then we could also do Belly Flop. Oh, but Belly Flop is 3 requirement. But that's better than 4 for Rolling Tones. So yeah, it's one of each of those, because, you know, pink's number one thing is getting rid of friends. Dismissal. Dismissing friends. Sticking your opponent's friends in discard piles. Okay, what does orange have to offer us? Bailout. Absolutely run 3 of these. This is a really cool card. Basically, once you've got your orange out, you can play this at immediate speed during your opponent's turn. As they're about to confront a problem, exhaust their highest power character there, and then they're not confronting that problem, they don't get that point, and that character doesn't ready again until their next turn. Which means that, actually, if you play it on your opponent's turn, it wouldn't ready until their turn after that, which would be even better, because then they have to come up with a way to make up all that power that you just got rid of so that they can confront that problem again, which buys you enough turns to do something to get ahead of them. Really good orange card. That's probably one of the best options for us to include for orange. Let's look at blue. Ooh, blue has immediate frighten. 2 of those is pretty good. Oh my gosh. But we're already running out of card space. We can't include that many cards of each of these, can we? Okay. I'm gonna have to think of something. We could do something weird, run one of each of these, and then play everybody's favorite white Pegasus, F-Stop, to get all our cards, all our events back out of our discard pile to use again in a situation where we would need them. Yeah, that's a good strategy. That way we could run like one-ofs of all these ridiculous events and have them at the ready when we need them. F-Stop doesn't cost too much to use either, which is pretty good. Cracking the case absolutely helps you get through those troublemakers. Let's see. What about yellow? What does yellow have that would help us most right now? Turning Point. Oh, what the frack? We could go with Repulsor Blast. Yeah, Repulsor Blast would do it. It's cheaper in requirement. That would really help us play that. Okay, what does, what color are we missing here? I think we've got all the colors represented. Yeah. That's interesting. Well, let's take a look at friends. What super powerful yellow friend would really help us out most? I'm tempted to do Day Shift because she's just that good. But there could be something better. Oh, Brian. Why would I not run Brian? I mean, Brian is phenomenal. That's Resource Dismissal and Friend Protection all wrapped up into one card. Why wouldn't we run at least two of him? That's probably the best yellow has to offer for us right now. Orange. Orange, I'm immediately thinking either Captain Jack for a board reset or Limestone. Limestone has less wreck. Let's do Limestone, yeah. A Limestone to deal with those annoying opposing friends that we don't want to have abilities. Yeah. And then Pink. Pink has the main 6. This is a phenomenal thing, because then if you could get it, we'd have Pink, we'd have main 6 and this one event called Party Hard. You play those two cards in combination and your opponent will cry. If not, just be like, you win, I give up, and leave. Basically what you do with that combo, it's scary, but it's super effective. I didn't mean to make a Pokemon reference. Ponies are not Pokemon, but whatever. Or maybe we're talking about Ponymon. Anyway. Basically, you play main 6, you steal all their current friends on the field, then you play Party Hard, you retire all of those friends, meaning they all go to their discard pile, and you draw that many cards, meaning if your opponent was playing like some sort of swarm tactic, where they had a whole bunch of tokens out, those tokens would just go away forever, and you get to draw however many cards you just retired, which means basically say your opponent has like 4 friends out. That means you got rid of all 4 of their friends, and you get to draw 4 more cards that could help you get ahead, and your opponent is forced to discard 4 cards from their hand, meaning they have 4 less cards to play with, on top of no friends. It's just crazy good. If you're playing any orange-pink deck, absolutely include a copy of Party Hard and the main 6, because it's just that game-changing. And in this case, since we're running on a lot of cards that are just 1 copies, it would be scary. Alright, let's see. What other friends do we want here? What does purple have to offer? Gyro? I can talk. Gyro would really help, because we'd be able to find that one event that we needed. 2 of him would be really important. You know, with as much color fixing as we have, we might be able to go over 45 cards too. 2 of him is pretty solid. What other purple friends would change the game for us? Nothing that I can think of. I don't think we're going to be running troublemakers. That would be too tedious to deal with. What about white? We've already got F-Stop. He's one of the best white friends there is. What else do we have? We've got... Cadence is pretty good. We don't have a lot of ways to cheaply move her around to get more power counters on her. Spoons is pretty good. Plaid Stripe Spoonie, but the 3 rec... Coloratura would be pretty amazing. Look at that. Exhauster to choose a problem, and you need -4 to confront that problem till the end of the turn. For only 1 rec. That's pretty strong. But, I feel like there's something better. I'm not sure, though. Octavia. Why not Octavia? Octavia prevents our opponent from playing certain cards that we don't want to see anymore. That would work pretty well. Let's look at blue. What does blue have for us? Blue could give us Pirate Dash. That would be pretty fun. So would Torch. The wreck is expensive on him. Thunderlane, ugh, but the wreck is expensive on him too. Spitfire would be pretty fun. Maybe some Hasty Friends. Oh, got this Night Glider at Hasty, but something with more power would be preferable. Oh, who am I kidding? First Mate Mullet and Rainbow Dash. Hasty, only 3 rack, not as difficult to get in play, and you move 2 of your other characters for free with it. Meaning you could just play that and then shove up a whole bunch of high power friends to the problem in the middle of a troublemaker face-off that you're losing, and all of a sudden you could be winning. That would probably be our most helpful tactic there. The rest of these are all okay. Winged Wonder kind of does a similar thing for less wreck, but she has less power, and you can only play her during the main phase. It's also 3 friends, though, and Swift. But not Hasty. Okay. Okay. I think we're making progress. What other powerful resources could we run to really help us out, though? Dilemmas would be good, but I don't want to go too many cards over. Probably having a little bit of a risk as it is. Running a Seabreeze's Flower is always nice. Actually, that would work really well with this deck, because that gives us yellow, and it's also a resource dismissal, too. In fact, so much so that I don't think we'd need a Luna's Future. We could probably replace that with a more powerful purple event. Or a more powerful purple card in general. What purple event would work well? Destiny Drain would be fun. There's a problematic card in your opponent's strategy, and you know they need it really badly in order to win. Just Destiny Drain it. They'll never see that card again for the entire game. But to be honest, it's a bit of a niche card as well. Like, you have to know your opponent's deck really well in order to get rid of something crucial. What could we do instead? Frozen in Magisite's pretty good. Yeah, it could slow down an opponent's face-off. That could work. So would Star Sorrow Research. But, yeah, no. Oh, wait. What am I talking about? Scope things out. Oh, but that's 4 rec. If there was another card like Scope Things Out, with maybe 1 higher AT cost and a lot less rec, that would be so nice. But then again, our Paper Twilights have Meticulous, so it kind of performs a similar thing. I think this is pretty good. We obviously want our problem deck to be pretty helpful, so we should look at problem decks that allow us to... Oh, main characters have +1 power. That's always going to help you with playing cards that have a lot of rec. Let's see. I don't think any of those are going to help. How about purple? Gaining AT is always good. But I think this would be more consistent AT gain, because we could exhaust Twilight. Oh, but with Staff, we don't want to exhaust her. We want her to use her power on something. So this would probably be better. That's probably the best purple has to offer. Let's take a look at orange. Does orange have anything good? Characters having stubborn is pretty good. Family Feud is okay. Yeah. One of those. Yellow. Pink. I know the obvious one we want to run for that. This one. Sure, it's got a harder to confront requirement, but you pay one less for the first friend you play. We got a lot of friends. We want to pay less for our friends. Actually, no, there might be something better. Pink has a lot of card draw, so Tough Call might be even better. Oh, but is there one that's cheaper? We are playing Harmony after all. Each player draws a card. Oh, I don't want to give our opponent cards, though. Let's search for draw card. Card draws are important. Oh, we should specify problems. That could work, but the dual color cards are a little tough. Oh, confronts this problem with characters that have at least 3 different colors among them. Draw a card. Well, we are running 6 colors. That could work. Oh, this is a pretty good one. Sure, it's a little expensive to confront. Probably more so than this one. I think Tough Call is probably our best option, to be honest. We're only going to run one. Let's look at white. White. Down the Drain is pretty amazing. But I think... Oh, but that one's 4 white. No, Down the Drain's pretty good. Yellow. What does yellow have again? Putting 1 power yellow tokens into play isn't bad. Yeah, that could work. Opposing Troublemaker's uncovered and you draw 3 cards for it. We need 3 cards. But now blue is not represented. We can cut the Trixie down to 1. This is kind of interesting. This is a really interesting challenge. Ooh, that would save us on movement. That would help. Or we could confront that and put a Pegasus token in play. Or confront this, or solve this and frighten something. Or this card enters and we move a character. I gotta think. Oh, you can confront this problem, move a character. But 4 rec is costly for us. I think that would work better for us. Because it just enters play and we move a character. Yeah! Yeah, okay. Represent all the colors. Oh, our yellow one doesn't have 2 confront requirements, though. Is there a better one we could choose for 2? Putting a yellow critter token into play is pretty good. Friends with 3 or more power can't be played here. Possibility. Let's see. Troublemakers have -2 power. That would be pretty helpful. Uh... Oh. Oh, but that would help your opponent too. We don't want that. Oh, think. Think. Oh, that's pretty nice. Our main character has +1 power while at that problem. It's a starting problem too. Interesting. The only weird thing about it is it doesn't have colorless requirement, meaning that our main alone can't confront it. Because it needs to not yellow color. But that shouldn't be too hard to get. In fact, I think that's probably better than this. Oh, but this one's our 3 draw cards. But then we've got tough call to draw. Yeah, okay, sure. Well, this is a little bit of a wacky deck. We're 6 cards over the card limit. And I have no idea how consistent this will be. Let's pull up the calculator, shall we? It's entry calculation time. You know what time it is, every pony. We gotta figure out how well this deck would work. Paste! And let me get my paper here. I'm not gonna do this one on screen. That took way too long. And I don't have time for that. And you guys probably just want to see the deck work better. So, look at that. We've got our Changeling Citizens, that's entry, and so is our staff, technically. Kind of. No, the Changeling Citizens really is. Alright, generate hand. We've got Singing Barrel. Perfect. Generate hand. That's a pretty terrible hand. We don't have any entry with that. Okay, join the herd, check. Let's see. Changeling Citizens, check. Singing Barrel, check. Changeling Citizens, check. Motivational Speech, and Kevin, check. Singing Barrel, check. Changing Citizens, Kevin, and join the herd. Oh, jeez. That's all the colors. Just have all the colors you need at any given moment. Changing Citizens, check. Kevin, check. Changing Citizens, check. Motivational Speech, check. This seems pretty consistent. I'm surprised. I think I built this well. Kevin, check. Looking real good. We've only had one hand we couldn't play with. Check. Of course, our deck is a little less consistent in terms of being able to do things very effectively because we've only got a whole bunch of cards that we've only got like one copy of. Oh dear. Oh wait. No, we'd still be able to play. This is still technically entry because of Applejack Factory Organizer. We'd just have to make sure we're always running Trading Traditions as a starting problem. And if we name orange all the time, then we're guaranteed to be able to play her. That counts as entry. That counts. Citizens, yep. Barrel, check. Kevin, check. Those are the more obvious ones. Okay, that's not entry at all. That's bad. Okay, that's a lot of entry. Yep. Uh-huh. Wow, this might actually be mildly fun. Oh dear, okay. Oh no, Seabreeze's Flower is entry too. What am I thinking? Because it gives us yellow to the end of the phase. Admittedly, in that hand that's pretty bad, so I won't count it because we'd only be able to play the one Repulsor Blast. That... Applejack counts. Applejack counts. That's not cool. Speech, yep. Barrel, yep. Speech, yep. Barrel, yep. Join the herd, yep. Barrel, yep. Applejack, yep. Speech, yep. Scrunchy base, that's nothing. Join the herd, yep. Speech, yep. Kevin and citizens, yep. Join the herd, yep. Yep. Okay, I think we've got enough samples here. Yeah, we do. Okay, so I did this a whole bunch of times. Let's see. So I did this 44 times, and we've only had 4 hands that didn't have entry in it. That's actually really good odds. Let's look at this. 40 out of 44. That's a 90% chance of getting at least 1 card to get into any color we need. On top of that, most of the time we drew more than 1, which would allow us to play more than one of our other color requirement cards in our hand. Wow! That actually worked shockingly well. Like, I didn't really think this would work. But oh my gosh. I think this could be a fun deck to work. I don't think it might... I certainly don't think it'll be like, oh my gosh, game-changing, boom, we wrecked our opponent every single game we ever played. But if you learn how to play with it really, really well, I definitely think it could be scarier than your opponent gives it credit for. Like, as soon as they see you teching into all these strange colors out of nowhere, just like at immediate speed, they're just going to be like... And then you play something that messes their plan that they were about to do, they just look at you funny like, what did I just see? Like, this has never happened before. What? They certainly won't be expecting it. I'll say that. That's... Whew. And look at this. An extra double diamond. We don't need more than 1 in our hand, really, so we could discard this one to too much of a hand size, because we're only allowed 8 cards in our hand. So if you drew 2 more cards, then you'd be set to or 3 more cards. I guess it would be 2, including the card you draw for your turn. Then you could discard that one and get Twilight up another power. Wow. That's pretty fun. Of course, the challenge is most of our color fixing is in events and resources, not actual friends, which doesn't let Twilight boost as quickly. But if I were to just generate a random hand again, let's see, for example, yeah, that. We play Applejack, there's another color friend, that counts. Then all we have to do is play 1 more color friend. That shouldn't be too hard with a staff, because then we just play the staff, Twilight has +3 power. Then we play Join the Herd, which is the next card we draw, naming something like Blue, or, yeah, Blue, and then play... It's not an ideal time to play that, but you know. Another random hand. There we go. 2 colorless cards that we can name the color off of, and they're both friends. Boom, Twilight boosts. Turn 3. We'd need 6 AT to do that. That would be a little rough, but not terrible. Opening hand. Look at that. Of course, we don't have as much color friends. Oh, there's... Yeah, it could... There could be some times where we have a lot of trouble boosting Twilight. But then, like I said, you can just play a staff or a barrel or a speech or something and boost Twilight's power up, and then all of a sudden, oh look, I can play my other friends that I didn't think I could play before. And then you're good to go. I'm actually shocked at how well this turned out. Like, I don't even think I spent near as much time building this one as I did the Team Starlight one. Like, this came together super quick. Awesome! Sweet! Well, there you go. I will go ahead and post this deck list in the description for you guys to try out. Oh, the flip average is pretty terrible. You better not plan on winning face-offs unless you've got something like Frozen and Magicite in your hand or something. Or Bailout. But, yeah. There you go. There you go. So many one-ofs, it's ridiculous. But that's okay. Yeah. Cool. They're actually pretty evenly distributed. 20 colorless. That makes sense. Majority of our deck being colorless is probably why it's helpful. More consistent. 3 pink, 3 blue, and 3 purple. That's interesting. We've mostly focused on orange, white, and purple. Although I guess that makes sense, because from a practical standpoint, orange, white, purple is one of the strongest tricolor deck combinations you can come up with. There's a lot you can do with it. So it makes sense that we stuck with the strongest tricolor friends, and then just teched in smaller amounts of the stronger other colors. Yeah. Well, sweet. Hope you guys enjoyed this little deck building adventure. Fried Chicken, go ahead and test this out and let me know how well it worked. If it needs more tweaking, feel free to post what trouble you've been having in games, and I will help fix the deck in another video. Or if it just works great, feel free to tell me. I'd love to hear about how any of these decks perform in a game, because truth be told, outside of the Twilight one, I haven't tested any of them. I haven't had time. And some of these cards I don't actually have, like staff. But anyway, that being said, hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, comment, rate, subscribe, and yeah. I hope to upload my Season 8 premiere reaction soon. Okay, soon. Toodles! I just realized we didn't come up with a name for this deck. If you guys have any ideas, post them in the comments. I'm open to suggestions. Although, since it is a 6-color, rainbow-colored deck, and we're running Twilight Sparkle with her Element of Harmony on her little crown of magic there, what if we called it, like, Friendship Nuke? You know, that rainbow explosion that happens after every time they use the Elements of Harmony? This would make sense for this deck. I mean, your opponent's not going to know what hit him, because they're going to be like, wait, you just did what? You named it a white when you've been playing orange and purple the whole time? What just happened, you know? And then out of nowhere you're going to play something like F-Stop or Octavia, and they're going to be like, oh, I just got Friendship nuked. Yay, I guess friendship is magic. And you'll force them into submission. No. That's just my suggestion, but if you come up with something better, then go for it. Another option would be Taste the Rainbow. Or Discotheque Twilight, because she's in so many colors. I don't know. It's late and I'm getting silly. Good night, everybody.